Hi, my name is Beth Littrell. I'm a staff attorney in the Southern Regional Office of Lambda Legal, and I'm here today to announce that we filed a federal lawsuit in West Virginia challenging the West Virginia's law that excludes same-sex couples from the protections and privileges of marriage. We filed this lawsuit along with our co-counsel, the Tinney Law Firm, and Jenner and Block, on behalf of three couples: Justin and Will, who've been engaged to be married for more than a year; Sarah and Cassie, who've been together nearly 4 years; and Nancy and Jane, who've been together 16 years, because they deserve and they need the protections and obligations that only marriage can provide. We also represent Nancy and Jane's son, Drew, who's here with us today, because exclusion from marriage not only hurts couples, it hurts their children. There are thousands of same-sex couples across West Virginia. Hundreds of them are raising children. Denying those children the ability to allow their families to be married, their parents to be married, hurts them in many ways. It denies them benefits or reduces benefits that help families. It also creates a conflict because these children struggle with understanding why the government treats them inferior and treats their family as if there's something wrong and less than. Today we build on the momentum of the last 10 years in which we've seen state after state, court after court, and poll after poll recognize that denying same-sex couples, committed, loving couples, the ability to access the protections and privileges of marriage is fundamentally unfair and inconsistent and incompatible with American ideals of liberty and equality. We build on the momentum of the Supreme Court's decision a few months ago in United States versus Windsor that struck down one section of the discriminatory law called Defense of Marriage Act, that recognized the inherent dignity of same-sex couples, and ruled that ruled that the federal government cannot discriminate against a class of its citizens. We also built on the momentum of last week, in which Lambda Legal's cases in New Jersey and Illinois moved forward, paving the way for the hopefully 14th and 15th states to recognize and allow for all of their citizens to be able to marry. Today these couples are going to tell you why they want to marry, but I'm here to tell you that there's at least 645 places in West Virginia statutes and regulations that recognize marriage, that provide rights, that provide obligations, and that these couples want to access those rights, they need them, and that they're willing to take on those obligations, yet the state of West Virginia continues to treat them as legal strangers. And that's just not right. So yes, we've made a federal case out of it. We have. We filed a federal lawsuit to change the laws that treat some families differently and makes their life more difficult. We filed a federal lawsuit to change the law that brands some couples, hardworking, good-hearted couples, as inferior and unequal. The basis of the lawsuit is simple. Under the United States Constitution, the government cannot treat its citizens differently, cannot discriminate, unless it has a sufficient reason. And our lawsuit alleges, and we believe we'll be able to prove, that there is no sufficient basis to deny same-sex couples access to marriage. That it's discrimination, pure and simple, and that discrimination can't be justified based on past discrimination, or on fears, or on myths. Our lawsuit seeks to remove the barriers that keep West Virginia families less free, have less liberty. It will hurt no one. It will take away no rights. I know that providing families, providing West Virginians more freedom and more liberty so that they can live, love, work, and pursue happiness is a West Virginia value. These are all West Virginia values. And I know this because both my parents were born in West Virginia. Both their parents were born and raised in West Virginia. My grandparents, Cheeky and Pawpaw, Nanny and Grandpa Charlie, they were born here in West Virginia. They instilled in my parents, and my parents instilled in me, West Virginia values like goodness and fairness and freedom. And it's those West Virginia values that led me to law school, and it's those West Virginia values that led me here, back to the state in which I was born, so that I can fight for the freedom for these families, so that they can marry the person that they love.